Thank you. Mr. LaHood.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank all of you for your commitment and dedication to the work that you do in service of our country. Director Array, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about FISA. As you're aware, Section 702 of FISA is scheduled to expire in December of 2023. And I think you know that the FBI's credibility with members of Congress when it comes to managing and executing this law is dubious at best, and I would say in a bipartisan way. Last year, as you know, OD&I declassified a FISA court opinion from here in the District of Columbia, and it was Judge Borsberg, as part of his judicial oversight, really just criticized extensively the FBI and the FISA process. And Mr. Chairman, just for the record, I'd like to ask unanimous consent that the redacted opinion be made part of the record.
Without objection.
As you know, in that opinion, Judge Borsberg went through and detailed the FBI breaches, the illegal activity, the abuse of power, and the blatant failures of this process. And as you know, Director Wray, in the opinion, they specifically, the judge highlighted a dozen of FBI queries that were, quote, conducted in support of predicated criminal investigations that accessed Section 702 acquired information. This includes purely domestic activities like healthcare, fraud, bribery, and public corruption that were outside the norms of 702. Director Wray, was that appropriate conduct?
I think the judge's opinion speaks for itself that it was not. I would say that it's important that the court did not find unlawful purpose or bad faith or anything like that, but that doesn't make it any less unacceptable to me. I think the most important thing that I would call out here in this kind of setting, and we could obviously have a longer conversation, right, is that the queries at issue, the compliance incidents at issue involved there all predate massive changes that have been made by my leadership team and I since then that include all sorts of changes to systems, to training, to safeguards, to policies. We created a whole new Office of Internal Audit that didn't exist before that's solely focused on FISA compliance. So I could go on and on about the changes that have been made, but all of those incidents predate all of those fixes. And I'm highly optimistic that those changes will dramatically improve our compliance rate, and you can bet that I am hell-bent on making sure that we do.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, and I know the FBI is doing that. I would also just highlight, just so the public is aware, in that same opinion also showed that during a 4-month period in 2019, an FBI official conducted more than 100 background checks that returned Section 702 acquired information, not into individuals with suspected foreign ties, but, quote, business, religious, civic, and community leaders applying to the FBI's Citizen Academy program, individuals conducting maintenance services at field offices, and crime victims. Again, I think you would agree that's not appropriate conduct. Just to follow up on the internal mechanisms that you've gone through, what were the consequences for FBI personnel that repeatedly violated these compliance procedures?
I'm not sure that I could cite to you sitting here right now exactly what happened with each specific employee. Again, I think it's important to recognize that the court did not find unlawful purpose or bad faith by anybody involved, did find that they had not complied with the standards and the processes. And so, as I said, we've had significant changes that involve mandatory training and counseling to all sorts of individuals. We've got the new Office of Internal Audit. We've built in systems changes that make it harder for people to run queries. We've got additional supervisory approval, et cetera.
Well, I appreciate that, Director. I guess as we think about coming up on December 2023, we understand, many of us, how important this program is, to what the intent of it is. But I guess in laying out your changes, your reforms, what you've done, I'm not sure we up here understand that. I'm not sure the FBI has done a very good job in laying out that framework, that narrative of what you're going to do. And how do you reassure or give confidence to the American people that civil liberties are going to be protected, But that message, I'm not sure, is permeating to the American public or to members of Congress up here. And so I guess my last point is, in terms of what you're doing, what are the metrics or benchmarks we ought to be looking at that you're being successful?
Well, I think part of what there are a number of mechanisms of oversight that exist on Section 702. And of course, now we have a new one, namely this Office of Internal Audit. But in addition to that, you have the Justice Department's National Security Division, you have the court's own review processes. And so my strong expectation is that all of these efforts that we've undertaken over the last 18 months or so should dramatically reduce the rate of compliance incidents. And I am assured by other stakeholders in the process that they too are optimistic, meaning outside the FBI, that they too are optimistic that these changes will have that effect. I take your point about our educating both the committee and others about all these reforms, and it's good advice, and we will look at how we can better engage with the committee to walk you through it. Of course, these are changes that take a little bit of time and effort to walk people through. They don't, unfortunately, lend themselves to a short exchange in an open hearing. But you're absolutely right. I think the burden is on us to walk you all through it because you do understand just how important a tool this is. This is the tool that we use more and more these days to identify cyber victims and get out and warn them. This is the tool we use to go after foreign intelligence services, the MSS and the Russian intelligence services, the Iranians and their increasingly brazen activity. This is the tool that we're going to need more and more, not less and less, over the next 5 years as the terrorist landscape, with the withdrawal in Afghanistan, with the degeneration in Ethiopia involving al-Shabaab. I could go on and on, but just about every threat that you've heard about, to the extent that it affects the homeland from overseas, 702 is going to be the tool that protects us. So we want to make sure that we give you all and the rest of the Congress the information you need to get comfortable. But I cannot stress enough how important a tool it is and how committed my leadership team and I are to making sure that the reforms that we've put in place have the effect that you rightly expect from us.
Thank you.
Representative Spear.